Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night whenever you're watching this video. Greetings from my side. This is lecture number 4 of Pharmaceutics, and in this lecture, we're going to start a new chapter which is Introduction to Dosage Form. Now, what is a dosage form? Dosage form is the form in which we make our API to be administered in our body. Like API are of different forms. They can be liquid, they can be solid. So the form in which we are administering it, we are taking it, that is known as dosage form. And usually dosage forms are classified on the basis of their route of administration and on the basis of their physical form. So in this video we'll do the classification based on the route of administration, and in next we'll do the classification based on physical form. So the classification based on route of administration is of three types. We can take medicine externally, means through external route, that can be oral, through buccal cavity, which can be sublingual. Sublingual are those which we put uh, under our tongues. Those are known as sublingual dosage forms. And then rectal and vaginal. Rectal and vaginal forms are those which are inserted through rectal or vaginal cavity. Then next are parenteral routes. Parenteral routes are those in which we inject the medicine inside different layers of our body. And topical route is in which we apply those medicine in the topmost layer of our skin. Now, first in the external route, it contains oral route. In oral route, there are various forms that we take orally. First of that is tablet. Tablet, we all know that when we convert the powder into a solid form, it will convert in form of tablets, and these tablets we take orally. The next are capsules. Capsules are this types of capsules, and these capsules contain these granules. These granules are prepared from powder, but they contain powder plus some sort of moisture and converted as, and a small amount of moisture, it helps the powdered particle to bind together and to get converted in this circular form. And they are usually circular because a circular form has higher surface area, therefore it gets disintegrated or dissolved very easily. Whereas these tablets, they do not contain any moisture, they are just a shaped solid powder. Whereas the tablets can be two types, colored or non-colored. Usually the colored tablets are enteric coated tablets. Now what is an enteric coated tablet? An enteric coated tablet is a tablet in which a coat is there, and that coat protects this tablet against the acid that are present inside our stomach. So the API of this tablet, those which are enteric coated, their API can get disintegrated by the stomach acids. Therefore, to protect this API and to get a pharmaceutical effect, therapeutic effect, we coat these tablets in such a way these tablets only get dissolved in the intestine. They do not get dissolved in stomach. The next are syrups. Syrups, we all know that sweet liquid dosage forms that we take for curing our coughs, for curing cold, for curing fever. Then suspension. This may be something new for you, as suspensions are those dosage forms in which solid particles are dispersed inside a liquid uh, solution. Like if this is your container, it is having some liquid, and a very small sized particle, when you dissolve in it, then these particles do not get dissolved, they remain in particular form, but they are dispersed in the liquid solution. They do not settle down, they move freely in this liquid solution, and that solution is known as suspension. Yeah, and these suspension, the liquid are usually thick to prevent the sedimentation of those particles. The next are emulsions. Emulsions, you all know emulsions are of two types, oil in water or water in oil. In oil and water, oil is in less quantity and water is in more quantity, whereas in water and oil, water is in less quantity and oil is in more quantity. And as emulsions are a biphasic liquid dosage forms, means it is having two solutions which are immiscible in each other, we had to add emulsifiers that helps in dissolution of both of these phases. And a very good example of emulsifier is soaps that we use. Next are dry powders. Dry powders, we all know that we apply externally. Some are for cosmetics and some are for therapeutic effects. Then inhalers. Inhalers are those in which solid powdered form is dispersed in the gaseous form. Like you all have seen those asthma inhalers. Let me give you some examples. These are the asthma inhalers, and in these inhalers, here the medicament is applied and that medicament get dispersed in air and it is taken through here. These are the example of inhalers, asthma inhaler. Then next are nebulizers. Nebulizers are we say it bhaap lene wali machine. In this, the medicament is dispersed inside the liquid and that liquid convert in aerosol forms. Aerosols are the small water or liquid droplets that are dispersed in air. Now in this type of liquid solution is added in this container and this will convert this into vapors, and those vapors are taken, which helps in curing the disease, and they are usually for preventing coughs. Then next are sublingual. Sublingual means we put this type of dosage in below our tongue. Example of this is lozenges. Now lozenges are its example is strepsils. Those strepsils which we take to cure our cough, these are the example of lozenges. Lozenges are sweet tablets which we put inside our below our tongue, and these tablet gives a sustained release of the medicaments and they are usually used to cure coughs. Next is chewing tablets. Chewing tablets are those which we chew and then we intake it. After chewing, we intake it. Those are known as chewing tablets. An example of chewing tablets are these vitamin tablets. These vitamin tablets are first chewed through your teeth and then you engulf those. Then next are mouthwashes. Mouthwashes, we all know, example is Listerine. Mouthwashes are to provide the medicated effect and to clean the buccal cavity, which will prevent any microbial contamination or tooth decay. Then next are toothpastes, which we use to cure our teeth cavity, or toothpastes usually prevent tooth decay. Then next are rectal and vaginal insertions. Now rectal and vaginal insertions, it include suppositories. Suppositories are semi-solid dosage forms which are usually of bullet shape, and these are inserted inside the vagina or rectum and they provide a sustained, prolonged release of medicament. Ointment, we all know. Enemas. Enemas is something new. Enemas are, let me give you some example. Enemas are the medicaments which are inserted through the rectal route, and these medicaments, they are usually used to prevent the constipation, and it is also used in the treatment of piles and ulcers. Then next are parenteral routes. Parenteral route are injectables. So it can be intravenous, where we inject the medicine in the veins; intramuscular, where we inject the medicines in the muscles; intraosseous, where we inject the medicine in the bones; then intrathecal, where we inject in the thecal layer of our skin; then intradermis, where dermal layer is used for insertion of the medicament; and subcutaneous, where subcutaneous layer is used for medicament insertion. Now what are these dermal and subcutaneous layers? Let me give you example. This is a diagram of layers of skin. Now, the uppermost layer is epidermis. Below this epidermis, there is a layer where certain vesicles, certain glands are present, like sebaceous glands, sweat glands. This layer is known as dermis. So, whenever we inject our medicament in dermal layer, that is known as dermal insertion. Then next is insertion in subcutaneous. This layer, the last layer of our skin in which vessels are present, blood vessels. This layer is known as percutaneous layer. So, this percutaneous layer provides a attachment with the systemic circulation. What is systemic circulation? Blood circulation. So, this layer provides the connection with the systemic circulation, and therefore when we insert this medicament inside the percutaneous layer, that is known as percutaneous insertion. Next are topical routes. Topical route also includes dermal route, mucosal route, and percutaneous route. Dermal and percutaneous, mucosal route is when we are giving the medicine to cure mucus and to prevent the release of mucus through mucus gland, and that are known as mucosal routes of administration. Now, dermal is on the dermal layer, that medicament that works on dermal layer. It includes ointment, liniments. Liniments is something new for you. Liniments are the liquid dosage forms that are applied topically and are used to treat pain and to treat small cuts or some cracks inside your body. They are monophasic liquid dosage forms. The next are pastes. Pastes are biphasic liquid dosage forms, and they usually has the solid particle in large amount as compared to the liquid particle. Example of paste: toothpaste. Next are creams, lotions, lip balm, and shampoos. Mucosal are those medicaments which we use to prevent the mucus release, and they are usually used for preventing coughs, colds. Example of this is ear drops, eye drops, nasal sprays, ointment, gels, and suspensions. Then percutaneous route of administration. Percutaneous, where we apply the medicament to get immersed in the percutaneous layer. Example of percutaneous are dermal patches. These are dermal patches. Dermal patches include medicament, and this medicament slowly gets into the percutaneous layer. And we use dermal patches because dermal patches provide us a slow and a limited release of medicament that is required to treat the disease. So that's all for this video. In next, we'll do classification based on the forms. Thank you.